Welcome to Living Inspired with Autism. I'm Antoinette. I'm an autism mom, coach, and your guide on this beautiful, wild parenting path. So if you're listening to this, it's probably means that you do love your child deeply, but sometimes this journey just feels harder than you ever imagined. And I get it. I used to think parenting meant managing and fixing and constantly bracing for the next meltdown, for the next behavior. But somewhere along the way, I stopped just surviving and started seeing the magic. Today's episode isn't about tips to manage autism, it's about how to enjoy your child, to celebrate their brilliance, to be moved and challenged and changed by the way that they see the world. And this is so apropos because we are in the holidays. So we are probably spending a lot more time with our special kiddos. So grab your tea or your coffee or whatever keeps you grounded. And let's talk about how to fall in love with parenting again. You know how people say, think outside the box? Well, autistic kids never knew there was a box. I remember when my son Max spent an entire afternoon organizing toys by texture, not color, not shape, but just how they felt. And at first, I didn't get it, but then I slowed down and I watched him and I felt, and it hit me. He was teaching me something I'd never noticed before. That's the first secret to truly enjoying your autistic child. Become their student. Watch how they interact with the world and don't rush or redirect or fix it. Just lean in and see what they're doing. Next time your kiddo fixates on light patterns or spinning objects or a tiny detail, just sit beside them. Breathe, watch, and let yourself be amazed. Your child's world is so full of patterns and rhythms and beauty, and they notice what most people miss. And when you learn to see through their eyes, your world becomes deeper and slower and, yes, much more magical. So let's talk about special interests, not as obsessions, but as windows into joy. Now, one of my clients has a son who knows everything, and I mean everything about volcanoes. And at first it seemed, too specific. But when they leaned in, they discovered he wasn't just learning about lava. He was learning about earth science, he was learning about geography and ecosystems and time. Now, these interests aren't distractions. They're invitations to you to connect, to learn, and to play. So instead of brushing them off, try entering their world. Ask questions. Let them teach you. Their joy becomes your joy. You know what it's like when somebody asks you questions about something that you're passionate about. And these passions, they become bridges to self-esteem, to confidence, to community. And when we celebrate our kids for what lights them up, we teach them that their voice matters, that their passions are not too much. They are just right. Some of the most powerful conversations that I've had with Max have been completely silent because it's mostly me talking. So he may not speak in full sentences, but he does communicate in gestures, in rhythms, and in energy. And when he brings me his favorite toy, or he presses his forehead against mine, that's love. That's connection. Communication is more than words. It's presence, it's intention, it's meaning. And our kids are fluent in this language. Whether it's music or art or movement or eye contact, your kiddo is speaking. When you tune in, the conversation becomes rich and emotional and very real. And the stimming, let's talk about that. The hand flapping and the rocking and the spinning. These are not behaviors to eliminate. They're expressions of emotion, of regulation, or just delight. Let's reframe them and celebrate them. Imagine if we all had permission to move how we needed to. That kind of freedom is healing, not just for them, but for us as well. Enjoying your kiddo becomes so much easier when you're not isolated. We weren't meant to parent alone, especially not in this complex emotional landscape of special needs parenting. So find your people, not the ones who pity you, the ones who see your child's brilliance, the ones who celebrate with you when they try a new food or they hum a familiar tune or they do something they've never done before. Curate your circle. Be intentional. You deserve the support that fuels you joy and not draining it. I love the idea of a celebration journal, which I've spoken to you about before. Every day, write down one moment that made you smile. It may be a tiny little thing, but over time, these moments string together in a tapestry of hope and pride. Not to mention a whole journal full of them. You're not just surviving, you're creating a story, and stories need community. So here's what I know. Your baby's autism is not something to get past. It's part of who they are, and it's beautiful. That's how we need to see it. What feels hard today, the routines, the focus, the sensitivities, can grow into powerful strengths. You're raising someone who sees the world in a unique way. Someone who might invent, create, heal, question, or inspire others. The future is not something to fear. It's something to shape, one joyful moment at a time. So trust the journey, trust your child, trust yourself. So before we go, I just want you to take a breath. Think of one moment recently where your kiddo surprised you or delighted you or taught you something. Hold that moment and celebrate it. Because you're not just parenting, you're discovering and you're growing. And your kiddo, they're not just autistic, they're amazing. Tomorrow, try and put on your celebration glasses. Look for the magic. It's there in the details, in the patterns, and the quiet connections. Okay, folks, thank you very much for being here. Remember, you are doing better than you think. And your kiddo is more incredible than the world knows. And this journey, it's unfolding just as it should. Until next time, keep celebrating.